Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I'm great. How about yourself?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. All right, guys. Let's get into our top list from yesterday, or watches from yesterday. See what we had going on there. Top place and highlights. Quite an interesting day. Starting here with mRNA. Just want to show you some of the action we had yesterday from the stocks we were watching. Just bring this in. Yesterday was not, no, this was the day before. That was a beautiful day. But yesterday was not as clean, guys. Looking at the action on mRNA, you had some pretty good chop in here. Let's get into that section right over here. So again, pretty decent pre-market action, but right into the open, it was just really all over the place. This stock was just selling down, selling back, right back up again. It just didn't have no direction, and you saw that throughout the entire day yesterday on mRNA. Again, nothing really clean going into the open yesterday. It had a better pre-market activity for a possible continuation yesterday, but we did not see that all day yesterday. Here's Neo. Neo was a little bit better, guys. A nice little short drop here. This thing was kind of weak right at the open. I'm sorry, right at the pre-market. Did have this little pop here, which was actually pretty aggressive, and then right at the open hits our levels at 1359, and just look at the drop coming down into the open as well. So you got some good opportunities here for sure. You did get a pullback, which is great for a possible opportunity to get back in here, and look at the continuation all the way down. So again, Neo was pretty good for a nice short there. We got another opportunity here to get above the VWAP. Also was not able to stay above that. Another great opportunity to take a short towards the low of the days here. Andrew had some pretty good trades on here. This thing was weak right here. Lost the low of the day here for the most part, and then dropped again. So again, some pretty good action there. Here's IBM. This was my trade yesterday. This was a beautiful short, guys. Opens up, tries to get above some of these levels we had here, 131, 132, and you can see the slam down on the next candle. So you get the pullback on the same candle, but on the next candle, great opportunity, good risk to reward to go short here for open range breakdown on the 5, and you got some nice drop here right off the bat, and some continuation. If you was able to hold back from this pullback, I was already all out on here, but if you was able to survive this pullback, you could have continued on this continuation here, or if you like to add, a great opportunity to add as well. Here's KO. Was just nasty, nothing great about it, guys. I mean, look at the drop here and look at the pop again. Very choppy open. This was one that you could scalp easily, maybe if you're in and out quickly trying to get a momentum play, but aside from that, really no patterns forming here on the 5-minute at least. Later on, it does trade into somewhat of a point here right above the VWAP, loses the VWAP, and becomes a beautiful short. But this is, don't get me wrong, this is difficult to trade because you don't know if this thing is going to just continue doing its pattern, right? So here finally breaks the pattern, becomes a beautiful short, but again, not an easy trade to take there. SQ was unbelievable, guys. Look at this beautiful pop here, started in the pre-market right before the open, and then just slams down here, a nice engulfing pattern on SQ. I was watching it and I completely missed it because I was playing around with IBM. But look at this drop here, guys. Just a beautiful drop on there. Again, that's a nice, pretty trade there if you were able to take that. It does try to bounce back, consolidate here a little bit. You do get a couple of trades, but again, this was the move here on SQ. Here's AMD. A very similar situation to SQ, but not as aggressive. You do get a nice pop, somewhat of an engulfing pattern on here, not 100% like it. But again, these patterns, guys, they're not going to be 100% picture perfect every time, right? This is still a good indication that the buyers or the sellers are taking control of the price action. They try to push it up, they can't. And right here's a beautiful entry for short as well, right at the VWAP also. Here's Microsoft, another one very similar to SQ as well. You had this beautiful pop here pre-market, and then right at the open just slams down. You get this very aggressive pullback here right to the VWAP, right? And the next candle, a beautiful entry for short for a nice continuation. So again, this one also traded very well. I like the fact that we came to the VWAP, could not stay above the VWAP. You see that right in here, and that's also a good sign that, you know, the stock is not ready to go north, or else you can take this short again after these two failures here. So we had a pretty good watch list yesterday, very active. Hope you guys had an amazing day. Let's get to what we have this morning in our gappers list. Looking in here, we have quite a bit, guys, in the red and green. So a lot more in the red this morning, as you can see here. A couple of ones that we've been watching closely as usual. INO, Neo, both on here. Snap is on here. Snap, I think, had earnings yesterday, Norm, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we'll see
They
how
sure
that.
did. We'll dig into that.
So we'll dig into that, see what happened there. And then we have a few here that are gapping in the green. Some of these tickers names I'm looking at right now, low flow stocks, and some that don't trade all that well. So we'll get into that. Let's get to the market pulse and see what we have going on for this day, Norm.
Yeah, man. So Well, some interesting macro news is the U.S. Has ordered China to take their consulate out of Houston. And when the U.S. and China started having diplomatic relations in the 70s, I guess, it is when that opened. That was the first U.S. consulate that China had here after that time. So it's been quite a news event overnight. China's threatened to retaliate. That pushed futures down fairly considerably. And then we had this big reversal a couple of hours ago when news came out. Pfizer announced that they and BNTX, who have partnered on a COVID vaccine, have received an order from the U.S. government up to, I believe it's a total of, it's either 500 million or 600 million vaccine doses by the end of next year. So hopes on that with a substantial portion. I think it was 100 million by the end of this year being available, and paying somewhere just under $2 billion for that first portion. So some hopefulness on the vaccine front has popped things. So we're going to see a lot of vaccine stocks in play today. Obviously, BNTX and PFE have gapped up on this news, and a lot of these others, INO, Moderna, that kind of stuff, have been down on the news. I think Moderna's fallen. No, it's still there. It's been going back and forth on and off the gappers list, but they took a hit as a direct result of that. So that having been said, at the moment, SPY's down just under just around 0.2%. And we don't really have a whole lot of economic data today. I think new home sales come out at 10. Let me see here. No, excuse me. Existing home sales come out at 10. So should be an interesting day. Like you mentioned yesterday, there was a bit of a chop fest. We gapped up so high. We gapped up over some levels. So I figured there was a chance we were going to test and not just take off. And that's kind of what we did. But it was a little bit of a tough trading day.
Yeah, it was definitely not easy yesterday. There's a lot of chop on there, so I know a lot of people, a lot of traders had a hard time. And again, you have those days where it's just things are not looking smooth overall. Let's take a look, guys, at our trade of the day from yesterday. So we had here Nader. Nader was the member trade of the day yesterday. He had an amazing trade here on Tesla. Let's zoom in here a bit, get a view of what's happening. So he had a great trade on Tesla here. If you look at his entry, his exits, I think he had an add as well in this here, going long again here. So again, a beautiful trade on Tesla. Again, we'll have more information about these trades of the days when Norm announces it later on. But again, congratulations to him for having the trade of the day yesterday. We look forward to hopefully him competing to be able to win on Friday. So, all right, guys, let's get to our gappers list this morning. I'm going to remove this here. Let's make some room. Let's add some more columns this morning. And let's start with what's gapping down today. We have a lot on there. Let's start with IBO. IBO this morning, again, I don't really like the way this stock trades. I know a few people have been watching it. Let's look at the action yesterday. It was a beautiful short here. It is on the American Stock Exchange, so they tend to trade a little bit different, and the volume is not always all that great. So pre-market action was a bit choppy, but at the open, they're actually looking at it now without actually knowing what the price action was. It does look pretty clean here, like it was a beautiful short, beautiful drop. This morning, we're getting very similar price action with some good volume, 1.9 million shares traded. This stock is also a little bit on the lower price, sitting around $5. It usually trades, under $1. And again, these stocks are not really something I'll look into for trading. But I will keep it on here. I know there are some members that do watch this one, so I want to be able to give them some levels if they're going to continue to watch that one. IMRN this morning, it is down 10%. This was one that ripped up nicely over the last couple of days. Huge. If you look at the daily here, I'm sorry, not daily, the 5 minute. Yesterday, for the most part, sold off, but the previous day had a nice little spike up. If we look at it here, let's go back. This was on Monday, guys. Monday had an amazing pop here right at the open. Was a beautiful trade. So if you got any action of this, was nice. But after that, it kind of sold off a little bit. Then at the end of the day, just gave it all back right to the market, to the open of the day there. And then Pre-market hours, guys, another pop again. This was yesterday, and then from there, all the action was in the pre-market. In the pre-market, at the open yesterday, didn't do much. Just kind of slammed down a little bit here, just selling off again. This is a low flow stock sitting at 3.7. I'm going to put it down here, IMRN, and we'll keep an eye on it. Right now, not doing a whole lot. We do have 250. Pre-market action is pretty crappy compared to what we saw the last 2 days. We definitely have some better activity. I'm not seeing anything all that great right now.
Yeah, and their news is on a secondary that they doubled the size of a secondary that they're putting out there. So the float and that, it a little worrisome in my book, but.
I agree 100%. Here's a OPCH, guys. This one not looking all that great on the daily. Looks a little interesting. We're sitting at these levels of support here, but look at the action on the daily. This daily chart does not look clean. You have several days here that barely
secondary.
run.
Yeah, it's a secondary as well.
On top of that, yeah. So nothing good about it here, guys. And when you see a funky chart like this one, just go down and look at the volume, and you're gonna see the volume tends to be very, very light on the given day. This thing is not even hitting 1 million shares traded. So something like that, you just want to avoid. Let's head on over to FE coming up here in the big red day yesterday on FE. FE is a energy company. I see
it is an energy company. They run power plants, specifically nuclear power plants, are make up a chunk of them. I don't know if you've heard, but a politician in Ohio is in trouble for bribery and corruption. The House Speaker and some other people, and so this company is at the heart of that corruption deal, and that's why they just absolutely tanked yesterday.
Wow. So again, interesting stuff, guys. Here, look, yesterday you definitely had the drop happening a lot, the big move happening right hour after the open. Looks like things broke out here and started slamming down pretty nicely for this one. So not sure how much down room they have left over here, guys. We could put it here as a possible. This is actually some big news. Do we have shares for short? Yes, we do. It is on short selling restriction. I'm not sure how long it's going to stay there. The issue with these stocks, guys, the big move happened yesterday. Today you're gonna barely get any volume. The stock doesn't trade well like a normal company stock would, right? So you want to be careful here. Although you have a bad news coming out, some really serious bad news coming out here, you'd be surprised how sometimes these stocks can squeeze up and put you in a bad situation. And if you look at the ATR here, it might be pretty high for the last 2 days, right? We're going from we went down from 42 down to 34 today, already high of the pre-market at 33 down to 31. So you want to be a little bit cautious on this one. We'll put it on here for entertainment purposes at least, but again, not one that you want to be playing around with if you don't have the good volume or good strategy. Here is Snap this morning. So Snap earnings yesterday, obviously things didn't go well. They're down 6.8. What's the latest and greatest?
Well, actually, they had decent earnings, and they had, I believe, their year-over-year user growth was 17% for the quarter, which was just shy of what analysts had expected. There were some comments in the call. They were talking about the Facebook boycott and such, and they didn't. From what I read, they didn't give any solid idea of how they might be able to benefit from that. So I think that's concerning, along with the user growth not being quite what people we're anticipating since everybody's locked up in their houses or has been during that quarter.
Correct. Nice big drop for them here, guys. I mean, but if you look at this drop, overall, this stock has been doing pretty well. I mean, this thing dropped to 7, sitting still at 23. I mean, this is just a small pullback in the scheme of things of how they've been able to really ramp it up here. I like what they're sitting at right now. They got some good volume, 835, sitting right at this level of support. Literally, the price actually, I'm going to mark it down, is right at 23. That has been a good support for this stock, if you can see on here. So I love the way that they
also, they also got an analyst downgrade this morning. And then they also got, while they had a buy rating, this other analyst raised their price target from 21.50 to 27.75. That's out of Pivotal. So
yeah. So definitely one to watch this morning, guys. I would expect a little more volume today with this drop here. I mean, Snap tends to have a lot of volume, guys. So I'm a little bit shocked. There's only 838. Again, you might be thinking that's still a lot. It is, but not for Snap. Snap trades a lot of volume on a regular day. So we'll see what happens there. Let's take a look at Tiger. Tiger is usually not great. Look at the pre-market action. Horrible. It is above 117, down 5.6. But this is just a nasty stock to have on your list. Let's head down to OMI. Also not looking great, guys. Look at this pre-market action right now. It's really all over the place. Looks like it had a big day yesterday. Nice little pop there right at the open. You got some volume. Then after that, just kind of chopped around for the entire day after that. And then into the after hours and pre-market right now, we're not seeing anything great. So what's the float on this as well? This is just disappeared from my list. Here it is.
60 million.
All right, so not a low flow stock. You could possibly get some kind of continuation on here, guys. But again, this is not looking good right now. NVAX, one that has been extremely active over the last couple of days, couple of weeks. Right now we have 102. It is down 4.2 at the moment. This stock, guys, the price action, if anybody has been watching it closely, if you kept an eye on it, the price action is not clean. The volume on this stock is very scattered. There's no flow to things. The liquidity is not great. No, I'm not sure if you have been watching this one at all.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, so again, I have had no luck in seeing anything great at the open. I know people's been watching it on their list. Pre-market right now, you are getting some activity. The daily looks great, guys. Again, you have a nice little pop here. We've been holding out. We've been holding some of these levels and finding a way to break out and make newer highs for quite some time now on NVAX. So giving a little bit back right now, down 4%. I'm gonna put it here as a possible. Again, I have not seen anything great on it, but I know some people have been watching it, so we'll take a look at it. Neo is here this morning. Good stuff yesterday, today. Obviously, tons of volume like always. 4.4 million shares traded right now. We are down 4.3. Most of it happening right here in this big drop in the pre-market open. So we're coming back though. We're bouncing here. Our low of our pre-market is sitting at 1164. We're up now at 1234. So getting a little bit of a bounce here into Neo. Let's see how that continues to play out this morning.
I'm not seeing any specific news there. I think some of these Chinese stocks that are down. We've got Billy, Neo. Excuse me. That Tiger. I think these are the general China issues that I described in the market pulse.
Yeah. Next here we have a low flow CEMMI. This one for low flow is not looking good at all, guys. Look at the volume. Look at the daily. Again, just pretty crappy stuff here. So I'm going to skip on this. Here's Billy. Billy is also not showing any signs of life here. Only 127 units traded. A lot of it here happening early on, this big drop. But for the most part, this pre-market action is not doing anything great. And the daily over the last couple of days has been really choppy here as well. So is there any news on Billy? This is also a Chinese company as well. Yeah. So
I think it's primarily on that. I'm not seeing anything fresh.
All right. VXRT, guys. This one has been fun to watch. I believe, was it yesterday they had a breakout? Yeah, so yesterday they drop here, and look at this breakout once it gets above the VWAP. Breaks out from the high of the day, and nice beautiful pop here. So I'm noticing that VXRT could be very choppy at the first hour and a half, and then it settles down and it gives you good opportunities. So if you're trading for the entire day looking for opportunities, this is a good one to have on deck. I'm going to put it on here, but you need to be patient with this one. It's a stock that takes a bit to get going. Also, some of the pullbacks are very aggressive, so be mindful of the number of shares you take on this one. Right now, pre-market 255. This is usually pre-market activity for it lately. Some pre-market actually is not all that great on it, so we'll keep it on here. I do like what I'm seeing on the daily. We've been able to hold this support that was prior resistance. So if we can get a nice little breakout here, will be nice towards some of these levels that we have here. So we'll see what we can get on there. INO this morning. This one at 307,000. Nice pre-market action at the moment. I also like the daily for a possible breakout, guys. We've been stuck between this 28 and 20, what seems to be 25, 30-ish or so. Again, just kind of bouncing back and forth here with some pretty good volume every day. So hopefully we can get something out of this. A breakout here would be nice if this stock has the juice to do that. It's trying to go green here, at least get back to the previous day close at the moment. It was green a couple of times here this morning. Let's see if that's going to be where it wants to head to.
That was before it was green, but it was green before the Pfizer BNTX news came out.
Yeah. So we'll
and
see
then
how
it dropped. Yeah.
that's going to affect it. But again, you could see the great resistance this thing is having here at 28. Has not been able to get above that in a couple of days. So it might not happen today here, guys, where we get a nice breakout. This thing has popped up to 33 before in the past, so it has the room to do that here. But again, I'm not sure what's going to take place today. We'll keep a close eye on it. Let's see what's gapping up this morning. We got a few more coming up here. BLNK, this one, nice big pop here just a couple of minutes ago. 331,000 shares dropped in this 5-minute candle. So again, and that is most of the volume. We're only sitting at 437. So something must be coming out on BLNK. What I don't like about this one is look at the daily, how choppy it is. You know, it is not a great trading stock. It's borderline at 20 million shares traded right now, guys. So again, it is, you want to treat it as a low flow because it is sitting also at a very low price range here. So you want to treat it like that. And just let's see what this volume is going to do. Again, this just popped up here with this candle. I'm going to put it here next to NVAX, BL, and K, and let's see what this volume is going to do for us at the moment. And if anybody has any news, throw it out to us because we just saw this.
On which one?
BL and K, yeah, just getting some good volume there.
Yeah, I haven't seen it come out.
Yeah.
I don't have Squawk on, but there we go. Blink Charging wins grants to deploy 200 Blink Fast Level 2 19.2 kilowatt charging stations across the Mid-Atlantic region. No terms disclosed.
There we go. Let's see how this thing is going to play out, guys. We got some pretty good volume coming in already at 513. Let's look at the next one. BMRA. This was a low flow sitting at 8.6 million shares traded. Pre-market action, guys, not looking all that great. Only 145,000 shares traded. Again, and I'm not a big low flow trader or a low flow trader at all. But you want to see a lot of volume. You want to see a good pre-market action if you're going to be trading anything that has this type of flow. And I'm not seeing that on this one. So we're going to skip on to the next one. BNTX, obviously in play today. We'll definitely keep this one on deck, guys. We'll take a look at the next one, which is involved in this, which is PFE. So let's make some room here. As Norm mentioned earlier, breaking down the news there. So let's look at BNTX this morning. Great volume, guys, 655,000. Obviously breaking new highs here. Are we sitting at all-time highs? No, we're not. Man, you see this? This is scary stuff. Just look at these candles on the daily, guys. I mean, so again, although they have some good news here, you still want to be very careful on this one, guys. It can move quite a bit. The flow is not a low flow stock, but treat it like one because it does move like one, right? Right at the moment, you can see some of these candles are almost $3, right? So be mindful of that. So right here, guys, again, we got some good volume, good pre-market action, definitely worth watching, but just be very careful on this one. PFE might be a better trade, trace a little bit better. I'm going to remove some of these levels here, get a clearer picture. Great pre-market action right now. This would probably be the one I'll watch instead of BNTX. I think the risk is a little bit more manageable than you're going to have on BNTX. Next on our gapping down list is going to be QLGN, yes. This one here, 320. It is up 8.3 right now. It's low flow stock sitting at 12 million. Pre-market action is all choppy at the moment. The daily looks great for a possible breakout if you want to sit around and wait for that. But right now, pre-market is not giving us anything great for us to look at. AG is not great, guys. We've been seeing the stock quite a bit on here. How did it trade the last couple of days? Again, doesn't look all that bad, but not great.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, so again,
it's a Canadian silver miner.
Oh, right, that's right. Yeah. So again, it's been trending up nicely, but I'm not sure how you could probably day trade this type of stock with the type of price action you're going to see. CTSO, this one doesn't look great, guys. Look at the daily here, just horrible daily action, no volume. What is the float on this? 31 million shares flow. It is not a low flow stock, but everything on here is telling us this is a no for today. Look at the pre-market action; it's really all over the place, nothing clean about it. And you look at the daily.
Weren't wishy-washy on that at all.
Yeah, so we'll skip. Let's go to the next one. PFE, we have this one on deck already. IVRI, also not looking great. Look at the pre-market action here, guys. It's all chopped up. And here, the daily also not great at the moment. I'm not seeing anything good on EVRI. VBIV, this one also is sitting at 2% up this morning. Not a great pre-market, guys. I mean, look at this pre-market, how nasty this is. Also the daily, you do have some kind of steps happening here, but again, a lot of gaps in between the days on here. I'm not seeing anything great. Just want to take a look because this one has popped up in our gappers list quite a bit. The intraday trading does not look all that bad in hindsight at the moment, right? Without seeing what the actual price action was. Does not look bad here in this drop, but right now I'm not seeing anything all that great on the list here. All right, let's take a look at what we have out here. Norm, what do you like this morning?
All right, so I got a few, and don't laugh at me because their volume sucks right now, all three of them, but they could be sleepers. So it's kind of like a side list.
Yeah.
Roku, of course. Roku.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the daily play. I traded that at the open yesterday. Had a good trade on it.
That was a nice trade. Yep.
Yeah, it was really nice, but it still got this breakout. It tried to break out and failed to do so, but it had that big pop. I traded it again right there at that 11 of, what was it, about 10:45, and then
Yep.
in their BBY, they had earnings, and this has kind of been a recovery of the company. Their online sales, everybody being home, they have seen some increased business from that. So they're up 4.6% this morning, but only on 28,000 shares. I'll see what happens there. And then the real sleeper, and we'll see if anything happens here, is Irobot, IRBT. They had earnings. They just demolished analyst estimates. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was like $1.20 compared to 29 cents estimated, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've got a massive short float. Not massive compared to, what Bed Bath and Beyond or something. It's 70%. I think it's around 33, 32. So
yeah, I'm getting 55 on.
Well, you got 55. FinViz has it around 30 something. So usually, different data sources. I'll take somewhere to split the difference. See if a squeeze forms possibly on that. It's down this morning, but it's on such low volume. I'm not seeing much there. I will be very patient to see if anything develops there. I'm not just going to jump in because it's not the highest volume trading stock out there. But if something starts to happen, I'll have it up just to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Good, man. Yeah, definitely like this. I like BBY as well. I like where it's sitting out on the daily. I know the volume sucks right now, but this is a good pop, guys. And look at it above these areas. So we'll do some levels for these as well. These look very good. And obviously, Roku, I love what you're saying here, too, about this possible breakup. All right, guys, let's see what you guys have on your end. Let's start with, who do we have here? Hamlet, OOLI. OLLI. Here we go. So this one right now, pre-market action, only 81,000. I do like the pop here that I'm getting. But overall, this stock, the daily seems a little bit funky here, guys. What is the float on this? I believe it's not a low flow stock.
No, it's not. It's like 48 million.
Yes, 48. Okay. So 48. Pre-market action, guys, a little bit all over the place. Could be a sleeper. Again, there's some stuff on there that's popping up like this morning. But I'm not liking the daily on this. Just the way it's forming here. Some of these candles seem very, very choppy. Had a decent day yesterday. How did it trade yesterday? Oh, man. Look at this. This is not great trading for a stock, guys. So I will not be having this. The day before also, look, it's just going sideways. So a lot of chopping. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you look at the daily, some of these candles just, they're not moving well. They're not connecting well here. So if you go in the intraday, you can see how the stock is trading. Today could be the difference maker. They're up huge at 3.9. But for the most part, I think the trading is going to be tough on this one. Let's look at what we have here. UAL. Oh, no, we skipped one. MXC. So MXC right now, nice big pop here, up 195%, 195% up, traded 1.5 million shares traded. Now, this is the type of volume you want to get if it's a low flow stock, which I'm assuming it is. This is sitting over here at 900K, not even million, 900K on the float. Guys, this is dangerous stuff. I'm not going to add it on here. Again, just be careful with this type of float. Okay, it's very, very low. You have a nice big gap up here, and again, if somebody comes in with a big order, you can get slammed pretty bad here. Let's head on down to UAL this morning. We haven't looked at the airlines and cruise lines in some time. They've been very, very quiet. And here's the reason why. If you look at their daily, they just kind of been just chopping around here, not really breaking up or down in any direction. Volume exceptionally light on UAL this morning, only 345. And again, just kind of wrapping themselves around these ranges, not doing much.
UAL will be in play today.
Got news
they had
on
earnings last night. Their CEO is being interviewed on CNBC this morning. I believe he's got a press conference today. So, yeah.
All right, so let's keep an eye on it. I do like UAL, by the way, is one of my favorite trading airlines. I think it trades the cleanest out of all of them. Delta's right there, aside from American Airlines and these other ones. So if they're going to be having some news today, definitely worth watching. Let's take a look at what else we have here. Spot from Nader. Nader, great trade yesterday on Tesla. He had the member trade of the day. Here we have a spot. Spot right now, the pre-market action doesn't look great. The daily does look interesting. You have a nice little potential breakout here above this 192 area. A lot of resistance happening there. So you got some potential there, but at the moment, pre-market's not looking all that great. Now, this is typical pre-market for spot. I usually don't trade spot. I think is very choppy. Spot is very spotty to trade, I guess. Again, it's not a clean trading stock, guys, and for that reason, I don't keep it on my list. But again, I see what you're looking at. The daily has some potential, but just not a fan of the way that actual stock trades. Norm, is there any news that we should be considering on spot or anything happening with them?
To be completely honest, yes, I know there is news.
Yeah.
I hate this stock, so
Me too.
I didn't really. They got into some licensing agreement with some Universal or something, I believe.
Yeah. And if you guys want to see what we're talking about, just put that on the side, keep it up, and you can see at the open how bad it trades. WSC right now, I'm not seeing anything happening at the moment. I had a decent day yesterday. Potential breakout if we can get above this previous day close line. Is an area of great resistance, guys. Look how many times we tried to break out of this in the last month, the whole month of July, and some into June, and we were not able to get above that. So, but I think we're gonna need some news. You're gonna need some kind of catalyst to get this going. These type of stocks don't move well on their own unless they have some news or the overall market is showing some great movements here. All right, so Tesla, let's take a look at that stock this morning. Again, just continues to hold on to this 1500 level here before dipping down a little bit, found some support back up. But again, guys, I'm not trading this stock. It's just way too expensive now. It's going to be in play. It's been in play every single day. It's been giving us some good moves. So if you have it on your list, by all means, keep it on there. mRNA, then we'll go over to YouTube, see what we have there. Yeah, I think mRNA is going to be also active. Again, right now we're getting a little bit of a pop, getting some nice volume. Looks like it wants to go green, trying to head towards that previous day close. We can take a look at it, guys. I think mRNA is going to be in play for a couple of days as we continue with all this vaccine news and stuff like that. So we'll keep that on there. Space was great yesterday. I think Space was a nice big pop yesterday, right? So let's look into this. Yeah, Space right at the open took off, guys. Look at this beautiful takeoff here. They managed to hold that. Had a couple of pullbacks, but was very strong for the entire day yesterday. Right now, we're kind of moving sideways. Possible continuation on Space. I'm going to put it here as a possible. I know we have a lot on the possibles list this morning, but we're going to fine tune that. Again, we'll put Space on there. All right, let's head over to our YouTube chat. What do we have here, guys? Corey's giving us SNDE. At the moment, SNDE up 54%, 2.2 million shares traded. This is an energy company, but it also looks like a low flow stock as well. I just want to see what we have here. Yeah, sitting at 6.8 right now. It is also an Australian company, so I'm not a fan of foreign companies, and especially that type of float, right? So be careful with that this morning. You do have some good volume here, but again, I'm just not a fan of this one. Also looking more like a penny stock as well. Let's head on over to UAL. We have Spot. We have also, let's look at Snap. It's taking off. All right, yeah, we have that on here as well. Snap is good, bouncing back here of this 23. Again, they had good earnings, as Norm mentioned, so I would not be surprised if they start closing this gap towards the north side. Let's look at Oxy, and this is one of the best ones to trade from the oil perspective. I think they trade the cleanest. Right now, I'm not seeing great volume, guys, and they're stuck between this range. We have a couple of good trading days on Oxy. Right
Jared
over
had
here.
an amazing trade on this thing. What, yesterday or the day before? I can't remember.
See, yeah, he looks at these quite a bit, so I would not be surprised. Again, if you keep an eye on it, you can get some moves on it. And we had some great trading on Oxy, guys. Yeah, look at it yesterday. Hopefully, he took advantage. There's a beautiful pop here. So again, this is kind of like a sleeper stock. So if you have the room for it, definitely keep it on deck. But you got to be patient with this one, guys. Don't go in there forcing your will on this stock. Let it do its thing, and then take advantage of any opportunities that you might be able to get. PFE on the list. Let's look at MTP. MTP is one that's been Pretty active yesterday, obviously. This morning, 386, down quite a bit. I think it's losing a little bit of a juice here. Oh, my battery is low. I'll take care of that in a second. So MTP here, guys. Again, big day yesterday. Had a nice little continuation play. I believe the float on this one is pretty low. It's sitting at a 5.5. So I'm going to put it down here next to the low float team. Possible continuation, but right now it's just kind of selling off. If we have time, we'll get to it towards the end there.
I would really watch out on that one. I think that's a pump and dump myself. And I think I don't have any shares for short. I'm not going to pay borrow fees to find anything.
Yeah.
It's $3.
I mean, it's always scary when you have a stock that goes up this much, 7%, and then comes right back down, just like that. And at that float, you'd be surprised if this thing is not at 175 by the time we're done today. HT, but again, just be careful, guys. Be careful with that type of stuff. HTBX right now also selling down. Had a couple of good days here at the moment. Also, more of a penny stock, guys, so I'm not going to be watching this one. I'm going to skip on it. We'll do a few more. TXN. GXN. What do we have on TXN? Texas Instrument here. Pre-market is a little bit all over the place, but this is typical for Texas Instrument. They don't trade well, guys, at all. Their volume is very light for the most part. They're very choppy. Their spread is not great. It's an overall stock that unless you have some significant news, I know you have earnings coming up, I believe. Oh, they had earnings. That's we probably had this pop here. But again, they
had earnings last night. But I will say this: TXN tends to trade terribly.
Yeah.
But they're usually the first semiconductor company come out with earnings. So a lot of times it will spark other things, the AMDs of the world, NVIDIA, stuff like that, to start trading better and give a catalyst on sympathy moves.
Gotcha. All right, guys, let's go over to announcements, and we will come back and dissect this list a little bit here. Norm, my announcement screens is a little funky today. I figure out what's going on, but if you want to start reading them off, I can find out what's happening with it.
I'm lost without you, brother. Hang on.
All right, let me see if I can get it up here.
I'll pull it up on my end locally, just in case. I'll start going. You catch up with me when you're ready, guys. So tonight is Wednesday. Tonight in the webinar room, 8 p.m. Mike B is going to be talking about developing your edge playbook through journaling, talking about how important journaling is, especially in the beginning of your trading career. Find your weakness, your strength, what your day was like, how you can improve, how you can cut out the bad stuff. So that'll be tonight at 8, and I think that will be just a phenomenal webinar. Mike does a great job to begin with. Then next week, Jared, who also does great webinars, did his first one. It was awesome. I believe it was last week. Man, time flies. He's going to be talking about trading options and how you can get into that if you would like to learn how to trade options. Then next week on Tuesday at 8 p.m. in the webinar room, Mike's Module 2, Psychology of Trading, is going on. There we go. Nice. You got it up. He's going to be talking about how your mind deals with uncertainty and the focus needed for training. So catch him next week, 8 p.m. in the webinar room, Tuesday. All right, member trade of the day. This is where the second week into this, I've seen just some phenomenal trades. I wish I could put a comment on each and every one of them, but I try to comment where I can. Anyway, and then you have TXN. You got, I don't know what happened, but you switched it up. It was working, and now you got the TXN chart up. Anyway, member trade of the day. So mark up and post. This is posted on Twitter. It's not emailed to us. Mark up your chart. Describe your entries, your exit, your reasoning, everything else. Post it on Twitter. Tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike B _ BBT, and at Norm BBT, and use the hashtag BBT family so we can search it easily and find it. We do that by 1:30 p.m. Eastern. And the winner will be selected for that day and announced in the closing bell show at the end of the day by Mike. Then we'll talk about it also the following morning, like we did this morning, each Friday. So it's Monday through Thursday only. And then on Friday, we're going to do a summary and pick one of the best 4 from that week from Monday through Thursday. That'll be announced via Twitter and YouTube, and we'll talk about it Monday morning on the pre-market show as well. That winner for the week will receive a $100 gift card for Amazon from Bear Bull Traders. So we just sent out the first one Monday for the winner of last week, and good luck to all of you winning it for next week. All right, guys, if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't been able to try out the room, you can do so with the discount. Use the promo code PREMARKET24. That's PREMARKET24. That gives you 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room, unless there's a holiday, and access to our onboarding class, which Carlos does live each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. If you're looking to upgrade your membership or become a lifetime member, we have the 40% off discount. We anticipate, there are no certainties in life, but we anticipate this is the last time we do a discount that's this big, 40% off. Use the discount code ROCKIES40 to take advantage of that. If you're a fan of podcasts, use the search terms Talk with Traders on your favorite podcast platform, and you can find the Bear Bull Traders podcast. And then also watch our Closing Bell show, 3:30 to 4:15, Monday through Thursday, live streamed on YouTube if you are not a member. All right, buddy.
All right, excellent. Looks like I might have messed up and froze my thing over here because I can't flip the screen that is on. So this is what I'm going to do, guys. Let me try to reset this here. Give me 1 second. Hopefully this thing doesn't blow up on me, but I'm going to reset, be right back.